Tonight, detectives are hoping surveillance video helps solve the mystery of what happened Christmas morning when a victim was shot in Kent. So thanks for joining us for this Washington's Most Wanted Facebook Live in partnership with Crime Stoppers. I'm going to give you a look at some of the top cases featured on the show this weekend. Kent police say it is a mystery as to why that violence occurred. The victim survived and has been cooperative, but detectives say they still don't have the full story of what happened or why. So they're asking for your help tonight to identify two men seen on surveillance camera. Police say the shooting happened about a minute after they got off a Metro bus at Pacific Highway South and South 246th Street at 5:42 a.m. on Christmas. Afterwards, the two men were seen going into the Midway Mobile Mansion trailer park and then across Pacific Highway South towards the Iolani apartments. Detectives are hoping somebody recognizes them.
If you watch the video, you will see there's a definite difference in size of both individuals, and each of them, the way they carry themselves, have distinct mannerisms in the way they walk and the way they interact with each other. We believe the two together that left do know each other and have a relationship. We believe that these two subjects have information relating to the shooting and would like to contact them. So we're asking the public's help in identifying them so that we can make contact.
So take one more good look to see if you know either of their names. Detectives say the bigger guy in the hooded, puffy, quilted zip-up jacket over a sweatshirt carrying the black handgun is in his 30s to 40s. He's under 6 feet tall with long, dark hair and a ponytail. The man with him is over 6 feet tall with a medium build and was wearing a stocking cap, light-colored mask covering his chin, a light-colored jacket with distinct outlines around the zip pockets on the right chest and left arm, black pants, and multicolored Nike Air Max 90s. Again, Kent police want to talk with them. If you know either of their names, submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone or call 1-800-222-TIPS. There's a cash reward offered of up to $1,000 in this case. Now, the search for a convicted felon accused of kicking a pregnant woman in the stomach. King County Sheriff's detectives say Joshua Wadsworth assaulted the mother of his 8.5-month-old baby for hours as he held her hostage inside his home in SeaTac last November.
He kept her against her will inside that home overnight, repeatedly beating her every time she attempted to leave. The next morning, now the day before Thanksgiving, she's able to flee, goes to a neighbor's home where she's able to call 911. And I'm just deeply troubled, as I think all of us will be, that a woman would sustain this abuse overnight. We need to absolutely get him in custody.
That baby survived and was born healthy. Detectives say Wadsworth took off the morning before Thanksgiving and has not been seen since. He's wanted for unlawful imprisonment and 4th-degree assault. He also has a warrant for his arrest in Puyallup for theft. He's got more than a dozen convictions on his rap sheet, including multiple domestic violence court order violations, assault, vehicular assault, theft, auto theft, and resisting arrest. Joshua Wadsworth is 29 years old. He's 5 feet 6 inches tall, and he weighs 160 pounds. He's got that 2-bit tattoo inked on his left shoulder. Detectives say he drives a black van, say he's probably hiding in the South King County area. He has also, though, lived in Linwood. If you know where to find him, you will remain anonymous and get a cash reward of up to $1,000 when you submit a tip to Crime Stoppers by texting the P3 Tips app or call 1-800-222-TIPS.
Yeah, I just got here.
You are looking at one of the boldest and most elaborate robberies that Fife police say they've ever seen. You just heard the voice of this woman who detectives think is pregnant as she conned her way into stealing money from the Subway sandwich shop on Pacific Highway East on January 6th. She told the two workers that she was a corporate manager and needed to take their money because a different Subway store had just been robbed. Well, that was all a lie. Even happened while customers were inside getting their footlongs. Detective Sergeant Tom Thompson walks us through this wild and tricky heist.
What she told them was that one of the Federal Way subways had been robbed and that she had come down because she needed funds to help get money back into the till to get that business back up and running. One of the clerks told her that, hey, I need to call the store manager to make sure this is okay. And she said, hey, don't worry, I'll call him. She then pretends to grab the phone and make a phone call to get this okayed by the manager, right? Of course, we know that was a fake call.
Hi. Yeah, I just got here. Huh?
She came behind the counter. She went up to the till. She knew how to operate the till. They also noted that she took cash out of the till drawer, but she didn't take it all. So she left them some money to keep operating. So they thought this might be a legit deal. And she sees that the safe is open. And she goes over and says, well, I'm gonna need the money out of the safe.
Did you come check this with us? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I don't need you to take my ID. Why are you taking my ID? Who did that?
And she takes the money out of the safe too. Well, it's at that time that one of the clerks kind of starts to feel a little bit odd about this, asks her about, you know, hey, are we gonna count the money? You know, do we have a count on it?
Well, the suspect gets that vibe as well, and detectives say she then darts for the front door, telling the workers she had a gun and they better back off. Detectives say the suspect went around the corner of the store and likely drove off in a getaway vehicle. So, if you recognize her or her voice, submit a tip right now through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone to Crime Stoppers of Tacoma Pierce County. You can also call 1-800-222-TIPS. And when she's arrested, you get a cash reward of up to $1,000. Well, I got a strong hunch this next pair of crooks who stole expensive electronics from the Costco in Lacey are hardcore gamers, since the items they took included a $1,500 iBuyPower computer and monitor made specifically to play video games. Lacey police are hoping you can help identify them, but of course they're wearing masks, so you really can't see their faces very well. Well, the surveillance video from the wholesale store right off I-5 on Marvin Road Drive on January 8th shows the suspect in the dark, puffy vest the detectives think is a Patagonia brand, strolling down the aisle all cool and calm before he veers left and opens an emergency exit door. And then watch as the second suspect comes bolting across the screen from another aisle, pulling his own cart filled with electronics out the back door.
Most likely, you know, with this type of MO where they're loading up their cart, pushing it out the emergency exit, really, they're probably hitting other stores, whether it's other Costco's or other major retailers. And I think in apprehending these folks that are doing this right, it also gives some reassurance to the public that the police are investigating crimes, all crimes, and they're putting in a good effort to apprehend these people, whether it's an assault case or it's a shoplift from a Costco, such as this case.
Well, the guy in the vest wore a gray long-sleeve shirt under it, a tan-colored ball cap, khaki pants, and dark shoes. Second suspect wore a dark jacket and blue mask and a black beanie. Police believe both are white with dark hair. So if you know who these guys are, or maybe you know a couple of gamers playing on a brand new iBuyPower system, submit the tip right now through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone to Crime Stoppers of the South Sound. You can also upload photos through the app for detectives to see. You can always call the hotline. Either way, it's anonymous. You will be paid a cash reward of up to $1,000 if you can help identify either of these suspects. Now, Kent police need your help to identify this armed and dangerous suspect who shot a man looking at a display inside a vape shop on Southeast Kent-Kangley Road last month. Assistant Chief Jared Kasner describes this very premeditated hit.
At approximately 2:34 in the afternoon, a male subject walked into a store in what appears to be an attempt to make sure the victim was shopping at that time. That male subject then leaves the store, gets into a car, pulls the car across the street from the business on the other side of Southeast 256th Street, exits the vehicle, has his mask on, and pulls a hood up over his head, and walks back into the vape store where the victim is at and shoots the victim, then turning and running out of the business.
So detectives are asking for your help to identify the shooter. The victim suffered a life-threatening gunshot wound but survived. Police do not have a motive for the shooting and are hoping somebody watching tonight can help. That car he was driving is a grayish-blue Acura TL, and there was a second suspect in that vehicle. So if you know this suspect's name or have any information to help Kent police find that car, Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound will pay you a cash reward of up to $1,000, and you will always remain anonymous. Call in the tip right now at 1-800-222-TIPS or text it through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone. This next case is just heartbreaking. A 64-year-old mentally challenged man hit by a vehicle and critically injured while crossing a road in Thurston County. Deputies have exhausted all leads, and they're hoping you can help find the driver who never stopped. This is not the actual vehicle, but deputies believe it's similar to the one they're looking for. It's either a red or dark-colored 1988 to 1995 Nissan Pathfinder. It will be missing a black driver's side mirror assembly and plastic trim on the front driver's side wheel. Now, they've tracked down every Pathfinder like this one in Thurston County at their last known registered address, and they haven't found it. So it could be in another county or even hidden.
Maybe they know a neighbor that's recently covered up their vehicle. If somebody sold one recently and hasn't transferred the title, that could be a small thing that breaks the case for us.
Deputy Clark was first on the scene after Robert Fairchild was hit. He was in critical care for almost 7 weeks. His brother says Robert is a sweetheart of a man who was living on his own and capable of handling the daily routines of life. That all changed on November 20th at 5:26 p.m. when Robert was hit while trying to cross the roadway near his home in the 7900 block of Martin Way East in front of Gibson's Meats in Olympia. He suffered a head injury, 6 broken ribs, and a shattered arm. He is still recovering in a medical facility. His brother says Robert is not able to speak or do much more than track with his eyes.
I hope that he can feel it when I hold his hand and when I talk to him, that he can hear. But I'm not sure he knows.
He fears that Robert may never be able to live on his own again. Deputies say it was dark out when Robert was struck. He was wearing camo and dark clothes, so it's possible the driver didn't see him, but they absolutely would have known they hit something. So maybe you work at a body shop and somebody came in looking for a mirror that matches, or you work in law enforcement and you remember pulling over a vehicle like that, missing a mirror. That information is crucial to solving this case. There is a slim possibility the vehicle could be a Nissan 4x4 truck in that same 1998 to 1995 year range, but they really feel it's a Pathfinder. Either way, you can call the Thurston County Sheriff's non-emergency dispatch at 360-704-2740 or submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers of the South Sound through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone or call 1-800-222-TIPS. There's a cash reward of up to $1,000 for any information that solves this case. Tonight, an arrest that proves what police always say, that car theft is a gateway to so many other crimes. And thanks to tips from you, Bellevue police made a big bust in a case we first told you about last year. The capture of Guillermo Rodriguez Alvarado, a.k.a. Tony Montana, brings the total number of fugitives you've helped catch to 1,192. He's being held without bail in the King County Jail thanks to Washington's most wanted viewer tips and the hard work of Bellevue police detectives led to his arrest last week. Guillermo, who'd been wanted since last May, faces several vehicle theft and drug charges with more on the way.
We observed a stolen vehicle here locally in Bellevue, and under surveillance we were able to take some pictures but not able to identify this suspect. We put those images out to the Crime Stoppers folks, and you guys helped us identify both of these suspects, but still we were unable to track them down and locate them. Then all of a sudden in December we received another anonymous tip through Crime Stoppers with the phone number and the address of this suspect, and we were then able to apprehend him. We recovered copious amounts of drugs, including suspected fentanyl, heroin, mushrooms, and devices used to sell these drugs. There were multiple credit cards, identifications, counterfeit money, all located in his possession or in the vehicle. So this is not just some person who went out and stole a car one day. This is a criminal who deserves to be behind bars.
Well, that second car theft suspect that we featured in Guillermo's case is John Gouache Serrano, and he is still wanted. The red Honda Civic that detectives say he and Guillermo stole belonged to Rasul Diop. He had his laptop, his phone, his wallet, crucial work documents all inside. Diop had run into a restaurant to grab some food for pickup, and he left his car running.
It was raining. It was cold. I'm sad, I'm alone, and I'm mad. And then I don't know what to do. I never feel alone like that in my life.
Well, detectives found his car. John Gouache Serrano is on the run. He's got a large cross tattoo on his left bicep. Detectives think he's still in the area, and they believe he's in one of the homeless encampments. If you spot him, call 911. If you want to remain anonymous and you know where to find him, submit a tip to Crime Stoppers through the P3 Tips app or 1-800-222-TIPS because he needs to be caught.
We just really want to thank Washington's Most Wanted, Crime Stoppers, and your entire audience. Without the tips that we received, we never would have been able to solve this case. And because of those tips, we now have a very dangerous criminal who is behind bars, and hopefully soon to follow a second.
So here's his face again. If you can tell police where to find him, they want to get him into custody and into court. Well, that's a look at some of the cases featured tonight on Washington's Most Wanted. So I hope you'll join us at 11 p.m. on Q13 Fox. If you miss it tonight, don't worry. It airs again tomorrow night at 10 p.m. on Joe TV, at 10:30 on Fox stations in Spokane, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities. Let's make sure these criminals have nowhere left to hide.